Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back. Welcome back. 'Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. 'Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. 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 Welcome back.
Oh, Barry, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We're doing it properly this year.
Properly?
The last 2 years have been a load of shite. The last 2 years have been a load of shite.
But that's not down to us.
Well, no, obviously, I'm not putting my hands fully up. But what I'm saying is, it's not been the podcast that people are used to, has it?
No.
Like the consistency, the quality to a degree. Like we haven't had as many people coming in to interview because everyone's been at home.
No,
but
it has been
we've
shit.
took our time. We have. We're not.
I feel like we're on the up now, though. I feel
Yeah.
like fucking positive. Let's go.
Things are looking up, aren't they?
Things are looking up. Maybe not for the fucking industry at the minute itself, but being able to fucking not wear a mask and fucking get about and do shit now. I feel like we're back to normal, but the industry's just taking a bit of a digger at the minute, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's creeping back
Do you
to
know what I
normal,
mean?
isn't it?
We've lost a couple of people, haven't we?
Yeah.
In the wholesale industry and shops as well.
It's expected, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
the industry's took a knock. It's slowly recovering. Slowly get back on track.
Just before we get into this, Stephen, will you just tell the fucking listeners at home who the sponsors are?
Well, that's what this podcast's all about. It's a welcome back. We never did it in seasons, do we? But it's ended up being a bit. We do it in seasons now. So this is pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4.
I reckon we scrap
5.
every other season and we just start again.
fresh.
Start
This is
fresh.
season 5.
Season 5.
Yeah, we started off the first 3 seasons brilliantly. Season 4 and 5 were a bit, oof, that's where the story took a bit of a hit. It happens with every story, doesn't it? And now we're back with season 5. Best season yet. It's going to be good. We've got good interviews coming up. We've got technology that allows us to call America, them to call us. So we're going to be doing a lot of American podcasts, podcasts where people haven't been able to travel to the UK. We can now get them on. We're still working on Barry doing a visual podcast, but he says he's got a face for radio and he hasn't had that makeover yet for video.
I haven't even got a face for radio.
We'll get there though, Barry. We've got an idea.
I haven't even got a face for radio, I said, and you agreed with me.
I know.
Just catching you. I don't have a face for radio, face for telly.
We're sprucing up the podcast room. It's going to look a bit more how you want it, which is
Comfy
not because of
couches.
you.
He has me sitting behind the desk, sat upright.
Barry wants to put his
I
feet
wanna
on,
be
get
like
the slippers on.
Top Gear, where I'm just sat on like one of them big armchairs. The old Top Gear, not the new shitty Top Gear, the old Top Gear.
Well, the podcast room's never really needed to be looking amazing because we use a small part of it. But because of our expertise in podcasts, we are actually offering that service to people. So it's got to look nice. So the benefit to you, Barry, is you can have probably your own chair with the table next to it, podcast arms coming off the table. So a nice, comfortable Barry makes for a better podcast. That's the old wives' tale. Lots to talk about, lots to discuss. This year as well, we've been very heavy. If you're a new listener, we are always heavy on the information and the science and about the growing. And we're still going to keep to that. But statistics don't lie, downloads don't lie, and shares don't lie. And when people listen to a podcast that's a bit more chatty, a bit of banter, growing hints and tips along the way, more people listen to it. So we have to go the way that the people are listening. Obviously, we never stop talking about the top tips, the tricks and how to grow and what's going on in the industry. But people love just the general chit chat as well. And we are going to fucking put some, like the podcasts back. Like the industry's coming back and we're going to just, you need to listen because we're going to be putting people to right.
Back on the map.
Well, you know the industry's creeping back up because when everyone who's in the industry knows it's been quiet, but now I won't say quiet. It's become a little bit dog eat dog, hasn't it? So 4 years ago, it was a big community. Yeah. Everyone got on. The trade shows were amazing. There wasn't really a bad word to be said about anyone. There was little bits of jabs and here and there, but it wasn't that bad. Now, because after COVID, it took a downturn. It's become a business industry.
I don't even think it was that. I think it just went to COVID. People couldn't see each other no more. A lot of it went to social media. And it's like I say to you, Steve, you can get a text off somebody and you can read it a million ways. You can read it to yourself in an aggressive way. You can read it in a pleasant way. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so people are misinterpreting certain things.
I think there was a lot of stuff on social media that was misinterpreted the way it was said, and it wasn't said in a bad way, it's said in a good way. And a lot of people have had fallings out over it all, and it's a bit mad because, like, a lot of the people who have had all big fallings out on social medias and pure all shit, it's like, man, we're all old men now here. You know what I mean? Like,
we're not young bucks anymore.
Pick up the phone someone, say, what's happening? I seen your message. I just wanted to make sure that was all. Yeah, we're all right.
That does always help.
Go on, happy day, see you at AutoPots.
Yeah.
Some are social, so to say, but I still call it all. Yeah, go on, I see you there for a bevy to that.
That's the only thing that
just got out of hand, all that social media shit. You know,
I've had a few fallouts over the last 10 years. I'd say 3 spring to mind where it was like they were angry. Now I was angry at them. A phone call sorts it out though. Yeah. It does. You get back on track.
Like social media, it was good to have it there because it kept us all in touch with each other and it kept everyone seeing what everyone was doing and that. But because you physically couldn't see that person, or you can't go and see them shops, or the shops were just shut in general and all that, I think a lot of shit just got to a lot of people, didn't it? But fuck COVID.
Yeah, it's in the past now.
Yeah, I don't want to hear another word about it.
Never again.
Done.
So, should we introduce our partners?
Start from the top, because they are like, I was about to say the number ones, but 1, 2.
2 of them have been with us since day one.
So there's 2 number ones in our team. You know what I mean? 2 top number 1 kidders who have been in our team from day one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Always supported us, never let us down, know what we do, know we promote them. Come on then, Steve. This is like voice for radio stuff. I don't want to get it wrong. So you can do this from now on.
So the first partner of the new podcast is CANNA Nutrients. Yep. Been with us since day one. They love what we do. They love the education, the information that we get across. And they're just a brilliant team. The CANNA UK team are phenomenal. And I mean everyone from Peter to Josh in marketing, to the girls in finance, and the girls in marketing, and the girls on the road. They're all brilliant. Like every single one of them a diamond. Having said all that, they've been in the industry for over, you know what?
From the start. From the start, decades,
20 plus years, probably coming up to 30 years if it's not already. And you know what I love what CANNA do is they don't go into competition with anyone else. They are just there. We know we're the best. We don't have to shout about it like a lot of other people do. Yeah. You know we're the best. So try other nutrients.
To shout about it.
Try other nutrients.
Other companies, it's great for them to shout about it because I think they feel like they have to just to get on the platform where CANNA are, but they're never going to get to that platform. No. So I think they're just underneath, kind of just barking away. Yep. Do you know what I mean? But no one's
and there are other good nutrients out there. I just love CANNA's stability. They're ever present. They're in every single shop. You get the same time and time again. If you're a brand new grower, you have to start with CANNA. That's a definitive fact by me. If you're new to growing, go with CANNA because they're very reliable. It's
also a professional's.
You can absolutely make a professional. Yeah. You can use some of the nutrients or all of the nutrients. And they're just ever present, aren't they? Yeah. There's nothing bad I can say about CANNA.
What's mad is they've nailed it, because if you go into a grow store, hydroponic store, if it hasn't got CANNA, can't really call itself a grow store, hydroponic store.
No, if you haven't got CANNA,
because every shop will sell CANNA.
It's like a corner shop not having bread, milk and eggs.
That's it. Yeah.
You just wouldn't go in there, would you?
You just wouldn't go in there.
Because you can't get the
it's not a sweet shop
essentials.
no more.
Yeah.
CANNA is if you've got CANNA in your shop, you can call yourself the grow shop.
Yeah.
The hydroponics shop.
You know what? I'm not going to go into it too deep here. You know what I'm going to do? I've planned all my episodes, and I know I'm going to have episode ideas as we're talking. So I'm going to just write this one down on my phone because this is a podcast idea. I don't know what the title will be, but it's going to be based on fact versus fiction, or fake versus real. And there's a lot of, there's a nutrient that's been on the market a long time, and it's come under attack from fakes, very good fakes. CANNA also has these issues. There's some fakes. I don't think they're fakes. They're just what they call grey imports. Yeah. They come into the country. CANNA tries their best to stop it. The wholesalers try their best to stop it, but it still happens by other wholesalers who can't get CANNA trying the best to bring it in because it is that important. But they're bringing in, let's say, Spanish CANNA, which has not been made for British water. So you've got to be very careful. It's not the same. And if you're buying that stuff, you've got to be alert. So I'm just going to write fake versus real, or fact versus fiction for hydro brands. That's going to be a podcast. And we're going to go into detail on that, how to spot the fakes, why you should support the real, and make sure that you're growing safe, basically, because you can come unstuck if you use fake stuff. So their Instagram is canna.uk.official, a brilliant Instagram. Lots of top tips growing with nutrients. Just go and check them out. You'll end up going down the rabbit hole if you go in and out their posts, and go onto their website, canna-uk.com. Everything you need to know, from grow schedules, how to use it, what the products do, anything you need for growing with CANNA, you'll find on their website. So go and check them out. And thank you again for being a partner of the show. Yeah. It just shows what means a lot to CANNA. And they've always said it's the education. We love helping educate end users. So thank you for allowing us to do that this year again.
Who's our second number one? Our
second number one, supporter from day one. Doesn't take him a day to reignite his support for the podcast. Long-term friend, loyal to the show. Absolutely love the bones of him, and the whole team at AutoPot. Yeah. Jason and just his team are brilliant. They stay quite quiet, the team in the background, but they're lovely. Do you know what I mean? We get to know them, we get to see them, and another great team. Their Instagram is AutoPot_global, or you can check out AutoPot Cultivation Consultancy. So that's the Instagram profiles, and their website is autopot.co.uk. Again, very similar to CANNA. If you're a beginner and you want to try out a system, you're not going to go wrong with AutoPot. They've got, if you don't know, if you've been using AutoPots for a while, you know about the increased diameter of the pipes that they've brought out. So it's near enough impossible to get any blockages now. It's called plant-centered feeding, which means that the float valve doesn't just constantly top up with water. It will actually give the plant a dry period and then top itself up. So the plant dictates how much water it actually wants to drink rather than just being swamped all the time. They've got a system for every grower, whether it's propagation, small veg, big veg, small flower, big flower. They've got a system for everyone.
Haven't they?
You can check out their systems on autopot.co.uk. Detailed information how to use them, FAQs, every system that they supply, where you can get those systems from. And if you are new to growing and you want to get into a system, you're not going to go wrong with AutoPot.
And he's just brought out a specialist feed designed for AutoPots as well, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
I think it can be used widely, but it was designed around the AutoPot, wasn't it?
Exactly.
That's
Jason's designed that.
Source, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, the Source.
The Source.
I've said that beginners can use it, but advanced growers can use it.
Yeah.
It's one of those systems. It's modular. You can have a 4-pot system and then make it a 16-pot system by adding another 12 pots onto it. Make it a 100-pot system. The flexi tanks are designed by AutoPot, so any flexi tanks that you see out there, they're AutoPots, and they've got the Pro flexi tank as well, which is double skinned
white.
Just
Aussies on that one because I don't think they're doing it anymore.
How come?
Don't know. I'm not too sure, and I wouldn't like to say, but I'm sure it's being phased out.
Is it?
I'm sure it's being phased
We'll
out.
get more information on that and let you know next week.
Yeah, I'm sure it is being phased out.
Yeah, okay. Good information, Barry. Thank you for the update.
Welcome, mate.
So they're the two stalwarts. That means people who've been in there from the beginning. The next person up is BudBox Grow Tents.
Yeah.
Been with us for many years. Been a friend since I was in Barcelona in 2015. Met Jonathan and he wowed me. Like, I had my big science head on in them years. Everything had to be scientific and PAR, reflectivity, corrosion of poles, rust, thickness of tent skin, the denier, the military zips, everything. I was questioning him and he had the answer for everything. He's the original. He's the original white line tent. He actually brought out a white line tent originally before silver. People thought silver were more reflective. So again, like us, where we're having our chat because that's what people download the most, he had to bring out a silver line tent because that's what people were demanding because it looked more reflective. But they're pro tents. It's not. White is more reflective for the plants. Phenomenal tents. Like I've just said, military grade zips. They're always constantly upgrading and improving if they need to. Green windows so that you don't wake the plant if you're looking through. Thick poles. Customizable tents in every size you can think of. They've got them. Instagram, BudBox Grow Tents, and their website is budboxgrowtents.com. There's a bit of a theme coming along here. But again, a really, really genuinely amazing team. Jonathan, Si, Mark, the extended BudBox team. We've been out for food with them. We've been to shows with them. Genuinely some of the best people.
Yeah.
It's British as well. So a lot of people are starting to support British, which is a big thing. BudBox is all British. He's the most British person you could probably meet. Full on Yorkshire, proper Yorkshireman. So support BudBox. They're not only brilliant tents, but they're brilliant people. And I think that might be what makes the difference for people in the future is supporting good people as well. So thank you very much to BudBox once again supporting us. Once again, wanting to get the best information and education out to growers. And truly from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate your support for the next season. We have two new incoming. Two people who in the past maybe haven't been big enough or global enough to support the podcast. This year, they've taken a leap of faith. And I don't think we'll ever lose these two because these are brilliant. Optic Foliar. The foliar feed that we have raved about for years and years and years is finally a partner on the podcast. Check them out on Instagram, Optic Foliar UK, and check out the website, opticfoliar.com. They have got absolutely phenomenal products. It is hands down the best foliar spray on the market. We're going to get into like nitty gritty of what the products do when we give each partner a dedicated episode and we educate people on foliar feeding and how Optic Foliar can help, when we educate people on tents and how BudBox can help, systems with AutoPot and nutrients with CANNA. We're going to be giving everyone a dedicated episode related to what we do and what they do in their fields. Again, Optic Foliar's team, Dinesh is brilliant. The UK rep is phenomenal. A good friend for the shop, has been for many, many years, and has been a listener since day one. So we must be doing something right because there's not much you can teach him.
No.
Optic Foliar, thank you very much. Thank you for being a partner. It's our pleasure to have you, and thank you again, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot. Next up, bit of a different one.
It is a bit different.
It is a bit different.
But I like it.
We've had them on the podcast before.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. He played his guitar. We have got DynoMyco as a podcast partner. The best mycorrhizal on the market. Can I say that? I always regret saying the best because it makes me sound biased, but they are brilliant mycorrhizal products. You just have to go back and listen to, I think it was 3 or 4 episodes ago. Can't remember off the top of my head. Ari, and what he doesn't know about mycorrhiza isn't worth knowing.
You know what I like about him? How passionate he is about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
He's really easy to listen to as well. I know. But we had a boss conversation. I know you definitely listened to that podcast because you probably listened to it on the way home after we recorded it. But he's going to be back. He's back in the UK this year. He's going to come and do another podcast with us. I think it's worth announcing now as well that all of them have got little party packages for our listeners. So DynoMyco's got samples, Optic Foliar have got nice sample packs. You can't really get a sample off BudBox, but they've been with us long enough to know if you're going to buy a tent, just buy a fucking BudBox. Yeah. AutoPot, again, you don't really get samples from AutoPot, but we'll figure something out. And same for CANNA as well. I'm sure we can get some jumpers or some glasses, and we're going to put a few party packs for people together. We'll run a little competition, kickstart this next season of the podcast, and really get it home. Our goal for this year, by the end of this year, we want 100,000 subscribers.
Oof. You're going to take your clothes off or something for that?
I was hoping you'd do that.
I'll do it.
Not now, Barry. Fucking hell. You're a bit eager there, weren't you?
I'll do it. I'm not ashamed.
You will be when the videos come out. Okay. We're going to put party packs together. We're going to do competitions supported by all the partners. So we're going to be running that on our Instagram, which is at NPK Podcast. So go and check that out. I'm just double checking that because I always get it mixed up. Yeah, at NPK Podcast. Follow us. If you don't, you're going to miss out on the competitions. So there's your first and last warning. And I have to say thank you as well.
DynoMyco's website, mate. Instagram.
Well done, buddy. Good job you're here. Instagram is at DynoMyco, DynoMyco, and their website is DynoMyco.com. So their Instagram's pretty cool. I like it. It looks really good and funky, and the website's got all the information you need to grow with mycorrhiza as well. And once again, we'll do a deep dive into mycorrhiza with DynoMyco as the product that we'll be talking about. It's been a while and he's forgot. He's forgot what you call it.
A bit of a mistake.
What you call that? Etiquette. Podcast etiquette. So, you know what? You've done all right today. Normally you just sat on your phone while I'm talking. So, Barry is putting his phone away and we can carry on with our conversation.
Yeah. I'm awfully sorry.
It's okay. We'll let you off for this one episode because it's etiquette. You've forgotten, haven't you? Somebody that we always mention because I've been a long time writer of theirs. Haven't written much recently, just through being very, very busy, but a super friend, a brilliant magazine that you all need to get your hands on, Garden Culture Magazine. They are Instagram at Garden Culture Magazine and their website is gardenculturemagazine.com.
Their magazine's out every quarter?
Every couple of months.
Every quarter?
So every 2 months it's out.
Is it every 2 months?
Bi-monthly, which can mean, very confusingly, twice a month or once every 2 months. Very stupid thing that we need to correct that. But Garden Culture Magazine, Eric and Celia, just fantastic magazine. You can go and pick it up from any good hydro store. If you are not in a hydro store, you can get it from gardenculturemagazine.com and read it digitally. Save the planet. Yeah. So that's that. Should we mention the partners that are no longer with us?
No. Why would we do that?
Basically, just it's an echo of the tough times that the industry's going through, and some people needed to pull, don't they? So just that's it. Basically, it has been tough times, and that's the reason I'm mentioning it is because I feel like the people who have continued to support us during what is tough times, I just really take my hat off to them. It's all well and good supporting a podcast or doing your marketing when times are good.
I don't think
it's when times are hard.
I think everyone's had a bit of a struggle, but them names.
It says it all, really, doesn't it?
It says it all, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, they've managed to crack on and keep moving forward.
They will always, I think, even if a fucking bomb hit the fucking planet, mate, it'd be like they'd still be going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think they would get into the...
And is that testament to how good a company and how good the products are?
I think they've probably been through their own struggles as in import and export and price of containers, price of this, price of that. I think they've probably had their own little battles. But as far as sales and stuff like that, I can't see them going through the hardship that some of the other companies have gone through. Do Do you know what I mean?
And again, testament to how good the products are, because if they haven't been through hardship, it's because people absolutely need their products. So thank you to CANNA, AutoPot, Optic Foliar, DynoMyco, BudBox, Garden Culture Magazine.
Yeah, Mum,
you
thank you
absolute
very
bunch
much.
of legends.
I feel like we owe them not an apology, but
No, we owe them
it's
an amazing year of podcasting.
Yeah, that's what we owe them. But I would just like to say sorry for how long it took coming from the last season to this season. It's been a bit of toing and throwing, and
reason being is because I feel the podcast last year were good. They were just sporadic, because
I don't even think that the podcast last year were great. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying the amount of time that it took to get to where we are today, filming this podcast, to how long it took to get here, and the partners waiting for us to get going and all that, you know what I mean?
I've spoke to most of them, and basically
they're all understanding, and that it has been a little bit hard.
The reason is,
you know what it is, as well it is it's not.
I've said the reason is 4 times.
No, I think what the reason is we're not like a company podcast where we're in this office every day doing podcasts for money, to do this, to do that, and we're not, are we?
No.
It's
our
not
spare
our
time.
full-time job. This is our spare time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is hard. Do you know what I mean? We've both got families now. We're both old now.
I think it proves it, how hard it is, because I know every man and his dog seems to do a podcast, but, you know, a very niche podcast like what we do. I'm going to give a shout out to Rich Hamilton. He started the podcast, and he's got a lot of knowledge. He's written the Growers Diary books, Growers Guide. And I think he did about 10 episodes. I listened to a few of them and they were good. But it just showed, like, there might be other reasons, but it's hard. It is hard work recording the podcast, coming up with the material, mixing and mastering, publishing it to the things, promoting it. It's hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not an easy task. And if you're thinking about doing one, you've got to put a lot into it. And the other reason that we've taken our time is because we didn't want to just jump straight into it just because the partners are back. We wanted to take our time, make sure that we were committed to every single week. Because I think the worst part is we do 3 podcasts, and then for some reason, family emergencies, shop emergencies, anything going on in life, we'd miss a week. And then we might miss a second week, and then we'd do 2. And it's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be every single week. And I make a promise from the bottom of my heart, we are going to absolutely take this time to do once a week.
Feels
do
like
a backlog.
A dead serious podcast, this.
No, well, it's a first. We're getting back into the
being dead formal. Like,
getting back into the rhythm.
We are back.
Well, it is, and the main topic for today was to say thank you to those people and talk a little bit about what's been going on. What's been going on?
To be honest,
the last podcast, I did a podcast with Jason just before Christmas. So we've had Christmas.
I've done it with you, you know.
You did, didn't you?
Oh, what do you mean? I'm part of the podcast. Of course I did it with you.
Yeah, of course you did.
Jason
was there on the couch. That was a really nice podcast, that.
It was good.
We'll be getting Jason back on because his podcasts always do brilliantly. If we had him on every single podcast, I reckon we'd smash the 100,000 subscribers within a few weeks. But what's been going on? It's been January, February.
What's been going on in like the industry, the shops and stuff?
The shops, the industry.
A little bit.
Everyone's waited for January, haven't they?
I've had a lot of reps in lately to the shop.
Which
you're
good
not
sign.
in the shop as much no more, Steve, but I've had a lot of reps into the shop, and you can pretty much, it makes you feel a lot better when you know that your shop's quiet. And it makes you feel better knowing that everyone else is quiet, because if it was just your shop, there's a problem. But I think everyone is just a little bit quiet. But I can feel it coming back a little bit. I think by the end of April, I think it'll start to come round a little bit.
Has it already started coming back? People are saying January, February has been much better months.
It's getting better. Do you know what I mean? It's slowly getting better. Me, from the bottom of my heart, I don't think it'll ever be what it was pre
that word that we're not talking about anymore.
Yeah, pre all that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's ever going to get, for other reasons as well, though, I don't think it's ever going to get back to what people remember the industry being. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to get back to that point, but
Even
I
in
think
terms
it'll
of
come back a little bit. Do you
even
know
in
what I mean?
terms of the community, like I mention them a lot on this podcast. To be honest, you'd think I had shares in his shop or something, but lovely fella, brilliant shop, brilliant online. Steve from the Hydro Bros, and he went back and somebody said to him, "The industry's not what it was," and I don't think he had a shop. I think he basically set his up as COVID was just hitting, and he was saying to someone, how could I get an understanding of what it was like? And they said, go back and listen to podcast 100 or 110, I think it might have been, when there was me, Thomas, Slim, you, Jay, that's Monkey Nutrients, Dutch Pro team, Mills team, Jay Highlight, Foxy.
That was like a podcast with about 20 people on, wasn't it? Or something?
Yeah, and it was like I can't remember what we called it, but the banter, some of the banter was a bit ruthless. Some of the stuff I wouldn't say now, but it was a good podcast. It's had a lot of downloads.
Yeah.
And that was what the industry like, good banter. There was stuff that was said off the cuff.
Feels like everyone's a little bit...
They're all having a little digs, but it's friendly.
Yeah. I think as well, though, because it's quiet and you've got smaller wholesalers now, you've got a lot of new start-up companies now. I think everyone's sort of battling for a little bit of business. Your top runners, obviously, aren't. They don't do nothing to get involved in anything like that, but I think a lot of the smaller ones now are all battling for where do they sit in the market, where's their position.
The pie is smaller.
Yeah. And the pie is smaller now.
What would you do?
What
would you do? You've been used to having a 14-inch pie for your dessert every day, and you'd share loads with me and Jalal. Now you've only got a small bit on your plate. How much are you fighting to keep that bit of cake on your plate?
Dive. Tell you, no, I'll just eat it before I got to work.
That's pretty much the way the industry's gone a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's there's
the
not
pie's
as
gone
much pie.
smaller and more people are at the table. Want the piece
Yeah,
of it.
exactly.
But it'll level itself out.
I hope.
We've had bad news as well, though, haven't we? Nutriculture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just shows how bad it's got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether that was, I don't know whether it's the right way, like speak off term or not, whether it was COVID that ruined them or just bad management, I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, and when you've got that much going on yourself, it doesn't really.
I'll say
what it is, but
I'll say
I don't know whether it's bad management or COVID what sent them to the wall.
COVID definitely,
and then played a part, but there's a lot of shops, isn't there?
Yeah, potentially for Nutriculture, they brought in a lot of products from China, and I think maybe being caught unaware, like I think prices went up as ships were on the water because they brought in a lot of ducting, stuff that you don't make money on. It's not one reason, it's a lot of reasons, and it's very, very sad.
But COVID's, shouldn't say it, but the word I mean COVID, but a lot of shops have gone as well, haven't they? And that's ruined a lot of shops and stuff like that. So
yeah, sad times. Maxi Bright, Maxi Grow, they've been bought by Highlight, so all their products are now under the Highlight horticulture roof. Maxi, so
which
basically,
is great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for Maxi because that was.
Yeah,
I don't think that was.
You couldn't have got a better wholesaler if you were going under. Let's say
no. To be fair,
I
don't think they were going under. I think it was just a good time to
sell.
Yeah, to go right. We've had a good run at this. It's there's somebody to buy. We're happy to sell. It's a good deal, and they've done the deal. And everyone's been happy.
Maxi's going to live on.
Yeah, with all the products. Yeah,
with all them products, it's not just going to fall by the wayside, is it?
Yeah. So there's a couple of wholesalers that have one gone under, one been bought out. Hopefully, there's not too many more, but I think there could be if it's if the past is anything to go by, and shops as well. Tough time for shops. That's down in Somerset. His shop, he's closed his shop down. A lovely fella. He's had to shut his down. He stayed around. I think he started in September, and he finally shut the doors just after Christmas, I think. But lovely fella again. Time shows the times that people are going through. So if you're still there, if you're a shop, keep on going. If you're a wholesaler, keep on going. If you're a grower, just keep on going. Take each day and each week as it comes.
Something exciting, though. I feel like we're all doom and gloom here.
Barry is finally watching Game of Thrones.
Where am I up to with that? I'm on season 5, episode 7.
It only took you for 6
I
years.
can't get off it now. It's over. That's why podcast hasn't been done for weeks.
I can't. I know, yeah. But where's Barry? He's gone home.
Yeah.
It's 3:00. Yeah, he said he's catching up with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. it's boss though.
I can't really speak because I'm making my way through The Sopranos.
I watched The Sopranos. I'd watch it again though. I watched The Sopranos. I used to. When did that come out, The Sopranos? That was when I was probably about 17. I used to be out with all the lads hanging around.
73?
What?
About 1973, 74.
Do you want to fucking slap?
Listen, with your legs akimbo like that, I don't really know where to look. You couldn't slap fucking anyone in that position you're in.
No, it wasn't. I'm sure it was about 2000. I don't know, actually. I was about 17. I can remember it being out somewhere around there. It might have been a bit earlier.
Early 2000s.
I used to race home. I used to be out hanging around with the lads. And they go, where are you going? I'd say, I'm just getting off, going home to get a shower and that. And I wouldn't look. I'd go home, watch The Sopranos, then come back out. I loved it. You know what I mean? I used to watch it every week. Because there was no Netflix and all that then. You know what I mean? I think there might have been a catch-up like on a Sunday or something like that. But
you had to record on VHS.
Yeah, all that, you know what I mean? And so I used to race home and watch it and then come back out, you know what I mean? It was fucking boss.
Did you ever put the piece of tape over the VHS player so you could record over what was ever on it?
Yeah,
I mean, you bought a VHS and it was a film on it. You thought, film shit.
You had to snap the plastic piece out of the corner.
And you could record over it.
Yeah.
Proper hacks of the day.
You know another good one, if you haven't seen it, I think it's on BBC iPlayer, it's called a Capture.
I know you've said this a few times.
That's awesome. To be honest, it's not a big long-winded thing. There's 2 seasons and each one's got about 6 episodes in. The Capture, it's fucking great. It's about like MI5 manipulating live footage on events that are happening with like terrorists and stuff like that. Kid, it's fucking boss. Honest to God, it's boss.
I need to watch
the Capture on iPlayer. It's boss.
You're not into this sort of stuff, but there's a series out right now. It comes out weekly on Sky Atlantic called The Last of Us. Absolutely brilliant.
What's it about?
Basically, it's about how DynoMyco are going to take over the world.
I've heard about this.
Scary.
About microbes, is it? Or bacteria?
No, fungi. Mycorrhiza. It's scary because it's like, see the zombie stuff like The Walking Dead. Yeah, it's scary shock. Like they jump out and it's gruesome, but we're not going to turn into fucking zombies, are we? The start of The Last of Us is basically in the 70s. And this biologist is saying, the presenter's saying, well, how dangerous is this fungi? And the biologist is like, it's potentially very, very dangerous. This one strain infects ants, takes over the brain and basically controls the ants. So that, I think I'd have to read up on it, but the ant then goes and feeds on some certain type of food that benefits the fungus. And so the fungus controls it to go and eat this food. And the presenter goes, yeah, but it's never going to migrate into humans, is it? And he was like, well, nothing's going to migrate into humans until it does. Like it can evolve, can't it?
Yeah.
And skip forward 40, 50 years, it's evolved and it gets into the food chain. And this fungus takes over people's brains and gets them acting a bit like zombies. And it's, it's a belter though.
Good.
It's very, very good. Sky Atlantic, The Last of Us. It's called.
I was to watch that.
I haven't even tell you that we're watching.
Nothing else good, really. I need a bit, to be honest. I get into them. That Game of Thrones is long-winded, man. Like, when I say long-winded, it's great. Every episode's great and that, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of seasons. Do you know what I mean? So I'm one of them where I get halfway through and I think, right, need a bit of a break from this now. So I'll watch like a little short one, like a little 1 or 2 seasons, 6 episodes, like The Capture, and then I'll go back to it then, and then it's like, I'm into it again, because you can half love it, but get bored of it. Yeah. It's like a woman. Do you know what I mean? But
I do.
I don't even, there hasn't been anything else. What else have I watched that's been good?
Well, I'll tell you what you need to do. Anything. You notice that we're locking up the shop and the media company and it's still light outside.
Yeah.
Belter, isn't it? So it's not going to be dark now, again, when we're locking the shop until end of October. And what that means is it's time to get your seeds out. So
I thought you were going to say me bike. I was going to say I've got it in the shop now, mate.
Don't we?
Loop the chain up, straightened it out, give it a little service today. I'm getting the miles back in. The Coniston Challenge.
The Coniston Challenge calls.
It's insight. So
when you first get
the
out.
last time I done it, I fucked up. Not that I fucked up. I trained anyway and lost loads of weight and gained loads of muscle and all that, and I looked well for it. But that's all I done was lift weights in that. And I realised when we come to do the Coniston Challenge,
You got spanked.
that I got absolutely
He gets
spanked
annoyed.
because it takes a lot to carry muscle around. I hadn't done any cardio.
Yeah.
So although I looked good, I was fucking flopped.
It
Do you know what I mean? But
even out of his hoop.
talking, how far was the walk?
was 10k. Well, it wasn't. You say a walk. It was a mountain climb.
A mountain climb.
So it was 10k.
Was it 10k?
Then it was It was 3k walk.
It wasn't 3k that. 17k.
There was 3 things, wasn't there?
It was 17k
It was
walk.
10k bike
a
ride.
10k bike ride and a 3k rope.
Yeah. That
Do
was
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was like all in one day.
Yeah,
So
right
it was a
after
big
each other.
walk right over Old Man of Coniston.
Then a
bike
mountain bike
ride
up and
right
down
the
the
way
hills.
through the Grisdale Forest in the Lake District.
That
and
was
then
heavy.
right onto Coniston Lake
Yeah.
for a 3. And that was just a
Can you
full
remember what we
day.
raised?
I think we raised $8,500,
Yeah.
didn't we? We
Yeah. For
raised
Older
the
Hay
most money
charity.
for Older Hay kids
Yeah.
with cancer.
So thank you
Yeah,
to everybody
yeah.
in the industry that donated to that as well.
And we will be calling on you again soon
Yeah.
to donate again. Do you know what I mean? But it's all for a good cause. Stuff.
So when you're getting out on your bike then?
I'm going to start getting the road work in, to be honest with you. I
At the
am.
weekend?
Probably not the weekend because I've got a few things to do. I'm in the
Get a
middle
bit
of
of a head
decorating
start then, can't
my
I?
pension is my mum and dad's house, so
Get a
I'm
head
in the middle of
start.
doing all that. They've had me up the wall for
Might
the
get
past
out
2
on the
weeks,
weekend,
but
me.
I need to start getting the road miles in, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I need to get fit.
So that's the plan for the weekend. Get fit, watch some telly, plant some seeds, and tell everyone what we're going to talk about next week. What do you think? Should we start going into? Because I've got them all in order, but I don't know. I want to do a proper interesting one next week.
They'd all be interesting. What are you trying to say?
No, I mean like it'll be information heavy, won't it? So we're going to do an interesting one next. Oh, that's what next week's one is. We've got some special guests from America coming over.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
So they're going to do the podcast. It's going to be, I'm going to have to set up the other 2 mics. We'll all sit around the table.
Got a lot of guests this year, haven't we, coming on?
Yeah, I've got to, because it's just,
We'll
people are
see if
fed
we
up
can-
with you, Barry.
The guests that don't sponsor the podcast that come on, we'll see if we can pump them for loads of freebies and gifts for you.
Yeah. And we'll give it all. We'll be like the Robin Hoods of the industry.
Yeah.
We'll take from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah. That's
The
what I like.
podcast poor.
what I'm
So
about.
me and Barry get first dibs. Basil,
No, but
I'd love to say it's a pleasure to sit opposite you with your legs akimbo, but it hasn't been. But it is a pleasure to be able to speak on a podcast.
it is a
And,
pleasure to have the
and to be
sponsors
back.
back again, sponsoring us for one more year.
It is.
You know what I
Should we
mean?
take a photo and we'll put it up on our podcast, Instagram? Are you ready for it? We still
Are we getting one where we're like side by side?
Yeah.
Can I thump you? Can I put my fist up? I'm in work clothes.
Try not to lean over as much as well. You show your belly. So there's the photo. Check that out. I'll put that up on Sunday. As soon as the podcast goes out, I'll put it up and say, we're out, we're back, and we'll see you all again next week.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh,
Bye.
Barry, you made up that I fixed your mic, and it basically sticks where you put it now.
I'll be made up when I'm sitting on an armchair with a table with a cup of tea.
See you in a bit.